Hi guys, which one? 10 here again. This is another photo. I love taking photos of raindrops on plants and flowers and such. And this is one that I took a while ago. Gizmo's down at my feet. He's taken to nipping my leg. What, baby? You won't come say hi? This Giz won't come say hi. Come say hi. Say hello. Hello. I'm Gizmo. Gizzy. Say hi. Giz. Giz. What you doing? What you doing? Hang on. Okay. He's in the bathroom now. Okay, we are here to continue the story. Mel had something to tell Abigail. We didn't know what it was, but we're soon going to find out. I'll go back a bit in what I read last night. He sighed. I have been hiding something from you. I wasn't sure myself at first. Abigail sat quietly. The actual reason why I was playing both sides was for you to make a choice. I know that. She was frustrated. Was he wasting her time? It was because I wanted one of them. She was stunned. I realized they don't go that way, but I hoped they could be persuaded. I never thought. I mean, you married Sally. Maybe she turned me. He tried to laugh. I don't know when I started thinking this way, but it feels natural. Mel, you should have told me. How do you tell your best friend you have crushes on her ex-husbands? True. Still, you should have said something. I'm just hoping we can be friends again. Mel felt such a relief driving home. He had seen the ring, but said nothing. Abigail had decided. He now wondered about Sage. Scott was home around 4. How are things at the studio? The place is looking great. How'd things go? You best sit down, Abby advised. She related what Mel had admitted. I would have never guessed. Glad I'm off his radar. A few days later, Nicole dropped in on her cousin. Come on in, Abigail hugged her. Long time no see, she continued. I know. What's going on? Nicole asked. And what are you hiding? She was referring to her covered hand. Scott proposed. She held out the ring. I told him it was too much. Holy shit, girl. Congratulations. Nicole was happy for her cousin. When did he ask? He was going to ask Thanksgiving, but Sage showed up. What the hell for? To tell me that he was back in town? Scott waited till the first snowfall. You know, you shine like glitter in the sun. That's a great analogy, Abby grinned. It wasn't difficult making the choice. Do you love him? Do you love them both? I do love them both, but there's a drastic difference. What I feel for Sage is slightly deeper than with any of my boyfriends. What I feel for Scott, Nicole jumped in, is like fireworks. No, I don't understand why people say that. Fireworks are brilliant, but they only last a few seconds. He's the evening air I drink in. He's the morning air I can't ever have enough of. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The most amazing experience in the world? Now that is an analogy. I'm over the moon for you both. How's Mel? Boy, did he ever drop a bomb. He came here a few days ago. He's gay. What? But he was married to Sally. I know. He said this feels more natural. He had a crush on Scott and Sage. That's why he wanted me to make a decision. Nicole chuckled. Guess this leaves Sage. Do you think he's game? To be honest, I'm not sure. I'd count that out. Abigail was serious. Wow, I didn't expect you to say that. Neither did I. I'm not saying he'd be open about it. Just then, Scott returned home from the studio. Hey, Nicole. Congratulations. She stood from her chair to hug him. A future full of love, like a crisp evening air. She smiled at Abigail. Did I miss something? Nothing to worry about. Abigail tells me you had an admirer. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Never had a clue. The conversation made its own path from one subject to the next until Nicole took note of the time. Damn, I have to get going. When Brad is back from his trip, we have to get together. It's been far too long. They were all in agreement. Mel kept low for a while. He was embarrassed for admitting his feelings for Scott. There was relief that now he was out in the open. He looked back over the years. He had never been attracted to men, he thought, though now he could see it. Mel had leaned towards Sage since he first met him. What were the chances something could happen? Likely very slim. He had felt lonely on his own. It was time for him to find someone. There was that new employee, but owning a business, it wouldn't be wise. Treating himself to lunch at Dan's. He was treating himself to lunch at Dan's when the new employee walked in. Justin! He waved and came over to the table. Join me for lunch. Is it all right to have lunch with my boss? Won't people talk? He joked. None of their business. Your lunch is your own time, Mel pointed out. How's your holiday? Justin inquired. It's been fine. Nothing too exciting. How are things at the mansion? Going extremely well. It's a great atmosphere to work in. I'm glad you're fitting in so well. They sat having a light lunch, enjoying conversation. Well, I must get back. Justin dropped his share of the check on the table. Would you like to have dinner sometime? Mel held his breath. Is there any rules about it through work? Nothing. Whoever you see after hours is your business. Mel was nervous. In that case, sure. Where and what time? The bistro, around 7. Sounds good. I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your holiday. Mel watched Justin leave. Suddenly, he felt this was all wrong. He needed to call and cancel. Quickly, he dialed his number. Hello, this is Justin. How can I assist? Justin, this is Mel. Hey, what's up? Looking at my planner, I've promised Abigail I'd have dinner at her place. No problem. We can make it another time. Justin knew there wouldn't be one. And that was fine. What a relief. He wasn't ready for this. He may never be ready for this. Was he mistaking envy for attraction? Mel called back. His first date with another man. He changed the location. While getting ready, he thought of Justin's blue eyes and curly blonde hair. But then he decided, fickle as he was, maybe they should keep it at the bistro. So he made another call. Justin laughed. Are you sure this is where I'm going to meet you? Or are you going to change your mind? Mel had to laugh. He explained he was nervous. Justin understood. Once at the bistro, they decided together it was actually too stuffy for their taste. Off to Dan's it was, to share a large plate of nachos with a couple of beers. Abigail and Scott were singing tonight. How fortunate to have entertainment to fill the awkward times of silence. I've been a fan of Scott's for a while. His girlfriend has a beautiful voice. Abigail's my best friend. She works for the mansion from home. She used to sit at your desk. Really? Yes. I was at their wedding, the first one. Matter of fact, I was married to his third wife. Wait. You were married? Justin was attempting to take this in. Can we start from the beginning? Okay. I used to date women. I married Sally, Scott's third wife. It was an empty marriage. She basically used me as her sex toy. I was the arm candy. I've been alone since the divorce. So when did you realize you were gay? Justin asked, sorting the information in his head. To be honest, it was months ago, a couple of years ago now. When I met Scott for the first time, I was instantly attracted to him. At the time, he wasn't with Abby, but he was soon after that. Then, when her friend Sage came to town, I thought about him. Well, he married Abby, but now they're divorced. She's back with Scott. Mel explained. How do you keep this straight? Justin laughed. Abigail was married to both Scott and Sage once. She's been with Scott off and on for years. They'll marry again. They're engaged. See, it's simple. Putting it like that, yes. You never dated Abigail? No. We're more like brother and sister. Justin was happy to hear that. Maybe this date would go somewhere. The lights dimmed, and the spotlight was on the stage. Together, Scott and Abigail walked through the crowd singing. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. We hope you'll enjoy the show, Scott said, very upbeat. It was the usual lineup of songs. The energy was constant. At the end of the show, Scott noticed Mel and his date. Did you want to say hi? He asked Abigail. Sure. They made their way over. Justin was beside himself with excitement. Hey, Mel. She greeted him with a hug. Hey, girl. Great performance, guys. Thanks, Mel. Scott shook hands. This is Justin, he introduced. Justin. Abigail thought for a moment. You're the new employee. We've spoken on the phone. Yes, the other day. How are you liking it? It's interesting to say the least. I always thought the brides were impossible, but it's the families. Justin rolled his eyes. Abigail laughed. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Listen, anytime you need help, just call. She smiled at Mel. Oh, don't worry. I certainly will. I'm enjoying this job. I don't want to lose it. Scott and Abigail said goodnight and left. Mel and Justin weren't far behind. We'll have to do this again. Mel was smitten. It can't interfere with work, Justin reminded him. Don't worry. Thank you for a great evening. Things became awkward at this point. He would usually kiss his date goodnight and request another official date. So why should this be any different? A quick first kiss. It didn't feel strange at all. So, do you want another date? You haven't answered. Yes, I'd enjoy seeing you again. Justin gave Mel a peck on the cheek. I hear your boss is a tyrant. Mel laughed at him. I won't have you speaking of him like that. He's a very sweet guy. Justin smiled, and his face turned red. See you at the office. Sleep tight. The men drove home separately. When Abigail and Scott arrived home, they discussed Mel. That was a surprise. I didn't expect him to be there, let alone with a boyfriend, Scott remarked. I don't think they are at that point. But you know they're going to hook up. Yes, I'm sure they will. I'm happy for him. He deserves to have someone in his life, Abby said. I suppose you'll hear less from him now. They had already taken their boots off and hung up their coats. They were upstairs getting ready for bed. Guess Sage doesn't have to worry now. Scott couldn't help it. Sage was sound asleep and dreaming of Abigail. They were running through a field, laughing. They fell on the ground, kissing passionately. He woke up in bed, alone. She's with him, he sneered. Should have never left. That gave him the time to get where he is. He took advantage. They were engaged, but would he have a chance? And I'll leave it at that for this evening. Will Mel have a chance? Don't know. Will Sage have a chance? Will Mel and Justin move in together? Will they continue the relationship? We don't know, do we? Well, I know, but you don't. Anyways, thank you to my loyal listeners. I hope you enjoyed this and next section that I just read. More to come. This is like the story that never ends. As I've said before, I enjoy the characters and I enjoy writing with them. So this will go on until I reach a roadblock, and then I'll have to leave it aside for a bit until the inspiration hits again. So if you're new to the channel, please check out my other videos. I do have some on a playlist. I'm continuing to go through and sort out playlists for them. See anything that you like, thumbs up, drop me a comment, share it out. That's always appreciated. While you're here, consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, remember to hit the notification bell so that you'll know the next time that I upload. And from a sun and cloud evening here in Ottawa, and warm as always, Ciao for now.